Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Life in prison. A convicted felon given that sentence for his role in a shooting that killed a 4-year-old boy.
It is a day the child's mother wasn't sure would ever come.
I've waited 6 long years to at least get one. I mean, I know there's others, but to know that I have one down and 2 to go, I'm almost at the light.
A group of suspects are accused in her son's shooting, but today our camera was the only one there as the sentence for one man was read.
It comes one day before the 6th anniversary of the murder of 4-year-old De'Urvion Whitley. Erica Hernandez with the reaction from De'Urvion's mother and what's next in this case.
Based on the evidence that I have before me that was presented, I sentence you to life imprisonment.
No reaction from Terrell Chase as that life sentence was given for a felon in possession of a firearm charge. 437 District Court Judge Joel Perez was able to enhance punishment because Chase was a habitual offender. This case all a part of the deadly drive-by shooting that killed 4-year-old De'Urvion Whitley on July 19, 2017. More than 60 shots were fired into the home Whitley was in with his brother and mother.
You have the audacity to come in this courtroom with a little kid smirk, like everything is a joke.
De'Urvion's mother, Centonisha Marshall, was able to face Chase after sentencing, something she's been waiting 6 years to do.
You will never understand how much I, as a mother, forgive you. From me to you, I pray for you every day.
Chase is still facing that murder charge, but no word yet from the district attorney's office on how that will be handled.
I can't comment on any future litigation because we still have many cases in process, so we will cross that bridge when we come to it.
No date has been set for Terrell Chase on that murder charge yet, but he also has another charge pending in this case. That is a deadly conduct with a firearm charge. Also, there is no date set for that one. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Now, the other 2 co-defendants charged with De'Urvion's murder are John Chapman and Quentin Phillips. Both men are scheduled to be in court on September 15th.
Tonight, we know the name of the man who drowned while fishing with his son. He's been identified as 45-year-old Selvin Salgado by the medical examiner's office. We first told you about this yesterday on the news at 6. SAPD says Salgado and his son were fishing near River and Center roads when he slipped on the mud and fell into the water. The Braavos Fire Department dive team called in to help. His body later pulled from the San Antonio River.
2 men stole an ATM early this morning by chaining it to a truck. This happened around 5 a.m. near the corner of Marbach Road and Hunt Lane. Officers say after that ATM was pulled out, the suspect stole cash out of it and took off. According to SAPD, officers found that truck the suspects used a few blocks away on Garden Brook Drive. Officers searched the area but did not find those 2 men.
A new campaign finance report shows Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick received a $3 million campaign donation from a group against Ken Paxton's impeachment. The report published today shows Patrick got the donation from the Defend Texas Liberty PAC. That's according to the Texas Tribune. The PAC sent a text to GOP voters after the House impeached Paxton saying, quote, "Stop this madness and end this witch hunt," end quote. The lieutenant governor is presiding over Paxton's impeachment trial in the Senate. He was asked about that $3 million donation. He declined to comment, citing the Senate trial rules. That trial is scheduled to happen September 5th. Dan Patrick is not up for re-election until 2026.
Over the weekend in Dallas, 8 people injured and 1 person died in 2 separate shootings. Now, a mother who lost her son to gun violence is advocating for something to change. Taria Lofton's son, Robert, was killed in a shooting 2 years ago. Then she joined No More Violence. It's an organization that focuses on gun violence prevention. Lofton says the people behind a gun don't think about the damage they do to families.
I'm just ready for the gun violence to actually stop. I just sit up and cry. Why? Why me? That's all I say is why me.
According to gunviolencearchive.org, there have been 37 mass shootings in Texas so far this year.
Right now, ERCOT has a weather watch in place through today, making it the second one issued in just the last month. But energy experts say despite the high temps, the state's power grid is holding up thanks to other resources. Experts say because the heat puts a strain on those traditional resources, things like solar energy actually help them demand being placed on the power grid right now.
We have currently 3,000 megawatts of energy storage, so batteries that are on the system. That's new. We have 8,000 megawatts of batteries that are coming in the next year or year to 18 months. And so we're seeing energy storage and solar power really playing a much more dramatic role than they were playing even just a couple of short years ago.
And there's actually a way that you can monitor the state's power grid in real time. You can go to ERCOT's website, or we have a link to it on KSAT.com.
In today's KSAT Explains, we're taking you back to class, and the lesson is all about South Texas geography and how it affects our weather patterns. And meteorologist Justin Horn, he's the one giving the grades.
Can you tell me what this is? What is that a shape of?
Is it a state or are we looking at a county?
It's a county.
Yeah.
Could you show me where the Edwards Plateau is?
Edwards Plateau.
Justin Horn explains South Texas geography, and he does some myth busting along the way too. KSAT Explains is coming up at 6:30.
And speaking of Justin Horn and our weather team, let's check in right now with Adam Caskey. All right, it says 104. Did we notch up a degree here in the last few minutes?
No, we didn't. 104 is the high temperature according to the National Weather Service, and we hit that a little while ago today as well. So 104 ties the record for the day, the average, of course, being 95. And look how long-standing this record is, 104, set back in 1918. Now, we didn't break it, but we tied it. I don't think we'll be tying a record tomorrow. We'll probably be a few degrees shy, but still another hot day. Del Rio broke a record, making it to 108, a record day in Austin as well, 103. New Braunfels, 106. Cotulla, the high of 109. And you look at the current temperatures, and they're really not all that different from the highs today. 104 right now in San Antonio, 104 Gonzales. Cotulla, 108. Creasville Springs, 108. Rock Springs, the exception, at 99. And as usual, closer to the Gulf Coast, we're in the 90s because of the very high humidity levels there. That mitigates their temperature from climbing as high as the triple digits usually. Comfort, 103. Stinson on the south side, 105, along with Divine right now. This evening, temperatures falling off very gradually. 8 o'clock, we're 99. 10 o'clock, we're 93. Midnight, mid-80s. But the humidity is going to spike after sunset, which is typical this time of year. A southeasterly wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And we mentioned ERCOT earlier, and I went back to the 5 p.m. data from the ERCOT fuel mix on their website. And this is a fairly typical stratification for what we've seen this summer for fossil fuels making up almost 60% of the fuel, the Texas power generation, renewables 35%, and nuclear about 6%. And you look at the supply and demand forecast, the blue line is the supply, and the red here, that's the forecasted demand. And ERCOT is expecting to have enough power, but it's still one of those things. CPS Energy wants to remind people in the hottest part of the day in the afternoon, between 3 and 8 p.m., that's the best time to conserve, to relieve the pressure on the grid. The aquifer took a notable drop. We're going to talk about that benchmark and a little change in our weather pattern that could lead to a few showers in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Adam.
Check out TransGuide right now. We're going to go to I-35 north at Loop 410. It's the northbound lanes there. There you see the on-ramp from 410 to 35 down below. 35 itself very slow going as a bunch of other cars join the I-35 north party on this Tuesday evening.
It may not feel like a party, though.
No.
Well, speaking of weaving, several creeks that weave through San Antonio's west side will soon be restored and enhanced. It's all part of the long-awaited West Side Creeks Ecosystem Restoration Project. This has been in the works for over a decade now. The San Antonio River Authority wants to hear from you during a series of community meetings about this process. The next one is July 22nd at 9 a.m. at the Tafoya Middle School. You can see details of that project at ksat.com.
Some kids at the Lincoln Heights Apartments getting a one-of-a-kind museum experience right at home. The Interactive Children's Museum hosting kids that live in the complex for a week of fun and learning with Legos, marbles, other activities. It's all thanks to a partnership between the museum and Opportunity Home San Antonio, whose goal is to spark learning in youth who are part of the families in the Opportunity Home housing programs that are facing financial hardships. Now, the camp runs again tomorrow and Thursday from 9:30 in the morning until 12:30 in the afternoon.
Coming up on Thursday, KSAT Community is coming together to help Project Mend. It's an organization that collects and refurbishes medical equipment. KSAT will host a phone bank to collect financial donations to buy more wheelchairs. That is the most requested and needed piece of medical equipment. That phone bank will take place Thursday from noon to 2 p.m. and then again from 5 until 10:30 p.m. For more information, check out ksatcommunity.com.
Still ahead on the news at 6, Bexar County releasing Alzheimer's numbers for the very first time. Where our county places in terms of prevalence and what the data will be used for. Next.
Welcome back. I'm Stefania Jimenez, and here's what we're working on for you tonight on the Night Beat. A Bexar County program aimed at helping small businesses now at the center of a federal lawsuit, the case that's being made against the county over alleged racial discrimination. And he was a former Uvalde Police Department lieutenant who was generally discharged back in May after the fallout with the police response at Robb Elementary School. Well, now KSAT has learned that Mariano Pargas is hoping to change that to an honorable discharge. Tonight, we hear from the experts about what this means moving forward. We'll see you for these stories and so much more tonight on the Night Beat.
Thank you, Stephanie. When it comes to the highest prevalence of Alzheimer's across the state, Bexar County comes in number 7.
This brand new information comes from the Alzheimer's Association and the first ever report that lists those numbers by county instead of by state. Courtney Friedman explains why that is crucial when it comes to allocating resources.
My mother-in-law was extremely organized, military wife. She started to kind of repeat herself. She couldn't, figure out who some people were.
Byron Cordes is a caregiver for his mother-in-law who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 7 years ago. He's also a managing social worker with Sage Care Management and on the board of the Alzheimer's Association.
It's super important to know as early as possible.
That's why new data just released by the Alzheimer's Association is crucial. For the first time ever, the disease prevalence numbers are broken down by county instead of state.
For Bexar County, 13% of those over the age of 65 are currently living with dementia or with Alzheimer's disease. That equates to about 33,000 people.
Landing Bexar County with the 7th largest prevalence in the state.
It just highlights the need for better diagnostic tools, better training for law enforcement officials, for physicians, for those that might interact with somebody that hasn't been diagnosed.
Greg Shudo is the executive director of the Alzheimer's Association of San Antonio and South Texas. He says these numbers should bring more care and education to high prevalence communities like ours.
It highlights that sense of urgency for folks to act and to get diagnosis.
There is help out there, and I think if they just look and ask.
So if you or someone you love is having memory loss that is affecting day-to-day activities, it might be time to see a doctor just to ask about dementia. If you want more information about diagnosis, treatments, and even caregiving, go to alz.org. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
All right, let's turn to the forecast now, and call me crazy, but after you said the heat index, is not that big of a factor.
Yep.
Maybe it's mental, but it doesn't feel as bad outside.
I would never call you that, Myra, just for the record.
Not to my face.
No, I would never call you that, Myra. All right, so yeah, it does feel a little bit better outside. I think it is a mental thing.
I was outside earlier today doing some of my workouts, and I did think as well the same. It's not as bad. A little drop in that afternoon humidity, which helps mitigate the heat index just enough. It's not in the oppressive levels that it was back in June. We're trimming back temperatures a few degrees in the days ahead. That's more psychological than anything. You're not going to notice a huge change. It comes with a subtle pattern shift that does give us a small chance for rain. We could use every drop. Take a look at the latest aquifer data. Today, 628.7. We dropped below 630. 630 is a bit of a benchmark number for the J7, for the well here in San Antonio. And we haven't been that low, under 630, since 2014. Now, just imagine the situation we'd be in if we didn't have the spring rainfall in April, May, and even the first week of July. You look at some of the lower readings listed here on the left. You see some 624s and even a 612 in 1957. But under 630 is one of those benchmark numbers, and that's where we are. Rain chances going forward, only 10 to 20%. And that's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We're talking a little glimmer of hope, but nothing that would impact the aquifer or really boost it at all. Unfortunately, we're just not in that situation. And usually we aren't in July as the storm track changes a little bit. Now, this high is going to split and elongate over the entire southern U.S. Thursday and Friday, and then it reestablishes itself over the Four Corners, over the Rocky Mountains, basically, out west of us. What that does is it puts us in this northerly flow aloft, so that steering flow is headed our way. Cross your fingers we could get the leftovers of some North Texas thunderstorms, but also it cracks open the door for maybe a disturbance or two, a little bit of rain-making energy. We're not expecting much, but there is the off chances we talked about of a shower or two popping up this weekend and even on into Monday. I wouldn't count on it, but there's that ever so slight chance. Chances are non-zero, let's put it that way. 104 right now, dew point is 61, so it feels like it's just 2 degrees warmer than the air temperature. Again, we're not seeing those outrageous heat index values. They're typically just a few degrees higher than the air temp. There is some cooler air out there. Check out Cincinnati, 75. Cleveland, 76. Chicago, 79. 81 Minneapolis, still a little below average around parts of the Great Lakes as they've got that cool upper level low overhead. Tomorrow morning, 78 degrees. By noon, we're already up to 93, then a high temperature of 104. We hit that at 4 p.m. Very similar readings tomorrow as today. 103 Canyon Lake, Floresville 104, Sabinal 104, and then, as I said, we trim back a little bit. We're talking 101 by Sunday and Monday. Woo! Psychological, right, Myra?
That's right.
A look at African dust at 6:45 when that arrives.
All right, thanks, Adam.
All right, when it comes to the Texas Rangers this year, they are forever young, Larry.
Yes, Josh Young. Spreester. Anyway, so Josh Young been struggling a bit as of late, but he came through last night in the bottom of the ninth, but needed starting a Rangers rally, and the Spurs re-signed Trey Jones. No surprise here, coming up.
It is awesome. Love having him on our team. I would be scared to face him if he's on the other team. But he struck a lot of guys out, so you're just like, 102. Wow, that's awesome. Thank God I don't have to face that.
Josh Young is happy he doesn't have to face Aroldis Chapman, who threw a pitch 103 miles per hour last night in Big Board Sports. Point guard Trey Jones loves the Spurs, and he'll now get to suit up with them for at least 2 more seasons. The Spurs today formally announced the re-signing of Trey, drafted 41st overall in the 2020 NBA draft. He's entering his 4th season with the team. Terms of the contract not announced, but it's a reported 2-year deal with a total of $20 million. In 68 total games with 65 starts last season, he averaged career highs of 12.9 points, 6.6 assists, and 3.2 rebounds in 29 minutes per game. He took over as a Spurs starting point guard after they traded DeJounte Murray to Atlanta, and he proved he can handle the job. All right, the Spurs wrapped up Summer League play in Las Vegas Sunday, beating the Thunder 98-94. Second-year guard Malachi Branham saw his Summer League play come to an end a week ago today after dropping 29 points on the Wizards. During the game Sunday, while watching his teammates, he was asked in-game what's it like playing for an iconic head coach like Greg Popovich.
I was about to say, he's iconic, the best coach probably to ever coach the game. It's great, he's going to get on you, but also it's just, he's going to teach you some things too, so it's been great. I've just been learning.
And here's one way to beat the heat. Hang out with some dolphins at SeaWorld Discovery Point. The Spurs tweeted this today with the caption, "School's out for summer. Julian Champagny, Sandro Mamukelashvili, and Charles Bassi all having a good time."
I have a unique relationship with that city. If you've ever been to San Antonio, if you've ever experienced it, there's a humility about that place. There's a sense of family. There's a lot of fun in the city.
That was part of Jeff Traylor's answer yesterday at the coaching convention in Houston when asked what keeps him in San Antonio. He also added that he feels his administration is committed to the program. The Texas Rangers won their 4th game in a row last night, this time via a wild pitch with 2 down in the bottom of the 9th to beat the Rays 3-2. Pete Fairbanks uncorked the bad ball, and pinch runner Josh Smith scored the winning run. Texas is 4-0 now since the All-Star break. Rangers All-Star third baseman Josh Young started that rally with a leadoff double and was replaced by pinch runner Smith. The Rays started All-Star lefty Shane McClanahan, meaning runs would be at a premium. So during post, Young was asked as he changed his approach when facing a pitcher like that.
You try not to really change your approach in that way. I mean, you know runs are going to be at a premium, so you're trying to move runners when you can. His pitch count was pretty low tonight. We were trying to not necessarily ambush him, but get a pitch early on, and you know he's a good strikeout pitcher too, so trying not to get to 2 strikes to let him start messing with us. It's kind of our game plan, and we just happen to hit some balls right at people, hitting us with double plays, which that's baseball. But I mean, he's a really good pitcher. He's all-star for a reason.
Young went 1 for 4 last night, including that huge dub to start off the 9th. The Rangers will host the Rays tonight at 7:05 in Game 2 of that 3-game series.
Those are 2 of the best teams in the American League.
They are, yes. Yeah. It's going to be a fun series to keep watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Larry.
Still to come here at 6, how well do you know South Texas geography? We put you to the test and also explain what that geography has to do with the weather. Next.
All right, there will be grades, but we do have a pop quiz for you. Do you know South Texas geography? Better yet, do you know how that geography affects our weather?
No homework here either.
No.
For this KSAT Explains, we tapped meteorologist Justin Horn, who is really into maps, both in passion and profession. He breaks out his compass in Rand McNally and does a little myth busting, too.
Can you tell me what this is? What is that a shape of? I'll give you a hint. It's a county.
Is it Bexar County?
It is Bexar County.
Is it a state or are we looking at a county?
It's a county.
Yeah, see.
It makes it more difficult, right?
It does make it more difficult.
Can you tell me where Bexar County is?
Oh, okay.
Because San Antonio is like, yeah, it's over here-ish.
Okay. Okay. Here?
Very close. Could you show me where the Edwards Plateau is?
Edwards Plateau. I believe the Edwards Plateau is right up in here. Or no. I'm sorry. So Kerrville area, correct?
That's right. You nailed it. Yeah, you got it. Second try. That was perfect. All right. Can you show me where Frio County is on this map?
No, I cannot.
Can you show me on this map where Frio County is?
So,
if I were to ask you where the Texas Hill Country is, could you show me here on the map?
Like, let's see, like over here.
Yeah.
That's where our.
Yeah, that's right.
So not everyone knows geography as well as us meteorologists do, and that's okay. We're kind of weird like that. True story, when I was a kid, I read the entire atlas and once memorized every country and its capital. But for those of you who don't have that much time on your hands, we thought we'd touch on some of the more important geographical and geological features that South Texas has to offer. And the feature we thought we'd start with is the most important of all, the Balcones Escarpment. The escarpment, or at least the edge of the escarpment, which I'm standing on now here at Government Canyon State Natural Area, is part of a fault zone that runs through northwestern Bexar County. It more or less splits our viewing area in half. To the north, we have the higher elevation in the hill country. To the south, we have the coastal plains. And this feature really explains a lot about why South Texas is the way it is.
So this is a major uplift that happened about 25 to 24 million years ago, where we actually had a big chunk of central Texas lifted up about 1,500 feet.
The boundary of the escarpment is U-shaped, featuring porous limestone formed by an ancient ocean. It's a boundary that helped create the aquifer and subsequently prolific springs.
Without the springs, you would not have San Antonio.
See, I told you the escarpment was important. The sudden rise in elevation around 1,500 feet in Bexar County alone also makes a difference when it comes to weather. We'll discuss that in a bit. But it's also why the hill country exists. Speaking of, what is the hill country? And how is it different from the Edwards Plateau that you hear us mention so often in weather?
The hill country is just part of the Edwards Plateau. It's sort of the eastern edge of that plateau. And it really encompasses that edge plus the Balcones Escarpment coming down into San Antonio.
Which brings us to I-35. It's a major, important interstate. Notice how it seems to line up with the edge of the Balcones Escarpment.
The I-35 corridor is actually just on the eastern side of the Edwards Plateau. So instead of building up and over the plateau, they just went around it.
That, and going back to the importance of those springs along the escarpment, major cities formed right along its edge, where the water was, and the interstate connects them. And since I-35 serves as a visual boundary of the edge of the escarpment, we often use it in weather to feature our different climate zones. You'll hear us say things like, those east of I-35 have the best chances for storms. Along those same lines, Highway 90, which runs west to east, is useful too. This geography puts us at a unique crossroads.
San Antonio is at the point of three different major ecoregions. The South Texas thornbrush, which basically starts in San Antonio and goes south to the valley.
That's more or less an extension of the Chihuahuan Desert, which creeps in from the west. Think hot and dry.
And then we have the hill country, which goes from west of town towards Kerrville, Sonora.
It's the elevated portion of our viewing area we mentioned earlier.
And then we have the plains, the Central Prairie.
That's the flatter part of south central Texas, closest to the coast. It features higher humidity, more rain, and more vegetation.
So you drive any direction and you've got a different scene.
So with all that in mind, let's do some myth busting, fact or fiction, when it comes to geography and what it means for our weather. Yes, clouds do bank up against the escarpment, occasionally making it cloudy in San Antonio, but sunny in the hill country. It can also sometimes help to develop showers. No, there's not a dome over San Antonio. Any sort of heat island effect has no bearing on storms moving through or avoiding the city, despite recent claims. Yes, those east of I-35 often have better chances of rain because they're closer to the Gulf of Mexico and therefore have better, deeper moisture. No, valleys and terrain have little to no impact on tornadoes. They develop and move as they please. Yes, the Serranías del Burro Mountains west of Del Rio in Mexico do have an effect on our weather, mostly when it comes to helping give lift to big storms in the summer that cross into Texas. No, there's no one favorite area in San Antonio that gets hail over the other. However, yes, geography does play a role in winter weather, with northern Bexar County, especially north of 1604, having a much better shot at seeing wintry weather than those in southern Bexar County. And this is why being a meteorologist in South Texas is so fun. Lastly, let's talk about counties. These boundaries are more political than they are geographical, but useful when we're describing where a thunderstorm is located. It's always a good idea to know where your county is located on a map. We use them a lot in weather, especially when it comes to warnings.
And that's South Texas geography in a nutshell. And it's why reading an atlas isn't quite as boring as you might think. For KSAT Explains, I'm meteorologist Justin Horn.
He read the whole thing.
Somehow that does not surprise
It doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you want to see us explain? Scan this QR code, go straight to the KSAT Explains page where you can find all of our coverage and a place to send in your own ideas. We'll be right back.